speedrunners already turning off their consoles, getting ready to start. And we are off. Are you guys ready for some 70 star? Because I know I sure am. As we mentioned, 5339 versus 4950X. This is going to be a tight race. The difference in versions, MrMeanMoustache running on the Japanese version and Drozdowsky running on the US version. There is not that much of a difference. In 70 star, the US version has an advantage of 1.95 seconds. But at this level and in a race setting as well, it's not going to make a massive difference either. They are coming up to Lucky to Skip. I reckon most of us already know how Lucky to Skip works, but it's basically jumping on the banister, long jumping onto the banister of the bridge in order to avoid getting caught into the cutscene in which Lucky to explains the camera movement. Very necessary for casual players, not so much for speedrunners. MrMeanMoustache getting it no problem, and Drozdowsky following suit as well. And both of them already coming into the second trick of the run. Bomb clip, we already know how to do this as well. Just grab onto the bomb as it's exploding, and let the hitbox push you back into the grate. MrMeanMoustache gets it no problem. Drozdowsky gets the slightly slower setup, but manages to get it nonetheless. And there is going to be a slight difference in routing even in the lobby here. MrMeanMoustache decides to do Wumps 9 and do the slide star first, and then go into Wumps. It saves about a second. However, Drozdowsky is going to go directly into Wumps and get it out of the way, and then get the 2 slide stars after doing all of Wumps. So that is a 1 second difference. Not extraordinarily decisive in a race setting. However, it's an interesting thing to point out. And we see MrMeanMoustache going and joining Droz in Wumps. We see that Droz accidentally missed one of the blue coins. Sadly, that means that he had to kill that second piranha plant in order to get its blue coin. So that's a little bit of a time loss, but shouldn't be too much. MrMeanMoustache going for a trick called Owless. Very complicated trick. It's a 2-frame trick in which you wall jump off of the cage with your stick neutraled, I mean. That's not a good thing to think about. And then as soon as you wall jump, you start pulling left. It's, as I mentioned, a 2-frame trick. It's very complicated to get, so it's good that he got it on the first try. Alright, Drozdowsky going for his cannonless. That setup, as we've mentioned many times before, is really consistent. You ledge grab on the edge, you get up, backflip, ledge grab, punch, ledge grab, and then run backwards towards you. It works almost every time. Drozdowsky getting his Owless star as well. Ooh, I see someone correcting me on the chat. Thank you very much. He did the... I was explaining the usual setup for that star, for the cannonless star. He actually did the texture texture setup in which he aligned himself with a texture on the plank in order to know where to start running. It's a slightly more complicated setup because it entails actually knowing what pixel Mario has to stand in instead of just memorizing the easy sequence of movements that Mario does in order to line himself up. MrMeanMoustache going for that same star and falling off. He will go up and reattempt that. And here is the setup that I mistakenly explained earlier. Punch, ledge grab, and run back. And sadly, he was slightly misaligned, so he's going to go for the shoot into the wild blue star instead. This is a usual backup. This is why most runners leave the shoot into the wild blue star for the end. It's an easy backup that you can do if you miss any of the previous stars. MrMeanMoustache attempting again. And Drozdowsky narrowly missing the elevator for the fortress and having to wait for the cycle until it comes back down. Cycles in this game are very, very complicated to line up. We will be talking about those, especially when we get to the Bowser stages. And with that, Drozdowsky finishes Wumps and goes up to do the slide star. He will do the first slide star, then look up in order to get the wing cap activated, and then do the second slide star before going into Bowser in the Sky, in the Dark World. Drozdowsky's PB, as far as I could tell, is a 4950X. That is the closest I could get to his PB. I got it off of his chat. He doesn't have it on speedruns.com or listed on his Twitch page, so that's what we have to work with. And here we see MrMeanMoustache going for the last star in Wumps. And now that the routing has converged again, we can see that MrMeanMoustache is about 20 seconds behind Drozdowsky. 20 to 30 seconds, not necessarily a commanding lead. Anything can happen, especially once we get upstairs, and even once we get to the basement. MrMeanMoustache entering with almost exactly a 30-second gap from him and Drozdowsky. We see that Drozdowsky managed to get the text box skip, otherwise known as a yump, off of the switch. And he will be going into Bowser in the Dark World. Now, the Bowser stage, especially Bowser in the Dark World and Bowser in the Fire Sea, have certain elements that work on global timers. In this one, it's a few platforms that rotate horizontally around under one of the red coins, and in Bowser in the Fire Sea, it's a blue and yellow elevator that goes down to get one of the coins and move on to the next part of the stage. On both of these cycles are very important. The way that you want to do it is to have nigh perfect movement in order to make the fastest cycle so that you don't have to wait for the platform to go around again and let you, like Drozdowsky just did, get the coin without having to wait for the platform to move to the correct position again. We will see if MrMeanMoustache manages to get this faster cycle as well. Drozdowsky opting to run around the pipe instead of diving onto the star, which is something that a lot of runners end up doing. MrMeanMoustache being forced to wait slightly, which means he will make the second cycle instead of the first. Yes, as Elminster RTA is pointing out, that switch jump is called a yump in Super Mario 64, and it's for swag. It's a one-frame trick. That's what but since this is basically the same thing, even though it's way more useful in this game, I've taken to just calling it a yump here, in hopes that the term will catch on. Drozdowsky getting his, clutching his Bowser, getting the Bless RNG Bowser dance. So let's see if that ends up being a good omen for him. And Drozdowsky kicking up the hill in order to slide and triple jump onto the floating island. This is a strat that not many casual players know about. In fact, I didn't know about it until I started watching sub-hour speedrunners, basically. And Drozdowsky is about to go into CCM. Now, in CCM, we are see another routing difference, and you are going to see exactly what I mean by the star that Drozdowsky is about to do. Drozdowsky does CCM 17 while MrMeanMoustache does CCM 18. That means that Drozdowsky is going to bundle the 100 coin star in CCM with the first slide star. That allows him a little bit of breathing room, that allows him to get some extra coins in case he missed any during the slide. And so he will be able to skip the big penguin race on the slide, which means that he will exit CCM with 17 stars total. He later replaces that with TikTok Clock 100 in the run so that he ends up with 70 stars as well. On the other hand, MrMeanMoustache is going to bundle that 100 coin star with that penguin slide race that Drozdowsky is going to skip. So he will have 18 stars when coming out of CCM 18 instead of CCM instead, and not do TikTok Clock 100. MrMeanMoustache doing the what cooks will work star. I really like the movement in this star. And Drozdowsky, having gotten 22 coins, he will be able to miss exactly one coin way down. And that's the coin. And since MrMeanMoustache doesn't have to collect any coins because his 100 coin star is coming in later, he can just take the shortcut of just jumping off. Manages to get 98 coins. His last two will be the red one that is on top of this tree. And as you can see, MrMeanMoustache is collecting his 22 coins before coming into the slide as well. Drozdowsky already with 17 stars, as we mentioned. Going on to Big Boo's Hunt, he will only be doing 2 stars here. The Big Boo in the balcony and the Jesus, and the books, and the secret of the books, basically, yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. The secret of the book star is literally just jumping from one balcony to another, so both of these very movement based, should not pose much of a problem to him at all. To answer Elminster RTA on chat, they are not puzzle. Drozdowsky is replacing the big penguin slide with TikTok Clock 100. In terms of THI Reds and TikTok Clock 100, they are about the same time. It all depends on how good you are. 100. TTC 100 is only worth it if you can do it in about a minute 5, a minute 10. I'm getting corrected in chat. He might be. I'm being told that he is doing Pyramid Puzzle instead. That must mean that I've read his splits wrong. I get the routing from how many stars they have on their splits after completing each part of the run. So that might be that I just read the splits wrong. So to clarify that, though I might be mistaken, I'm being told that some of these he is doing Pyramid Puzzle instead. However, as I read the splits, which might not be exactly correct, both of them should be doing Toxic Maze, and then Drozdowsky would do TTC 100. I'm being corrected in chat, so they might have changed their strategies since the VOD I watched. However, I guess we will see. Drozdowsky coming in for a very technical trick called Pillarless, and he does manage to get it. It takes advantage of the same mechanic that allows clip at the beginning of the run. And it's called Pillarless because it allows you to skip standing on the pillars and blowing the top of the pyramid off. It's a very, very complex trick, and it involves ground pounding on top of that shifting sand that if you stay on it for too long, it'll suck you up and it'll kill you immediately. It's a high-risk trick, but he manages to get it, no problem. And he does SSL secrets. Yeah, absolutely. Nice bubble once again. Massive props to Drozdowsky for getting Pillarless twice in a row without having to repeat any of them. Drozdowsky jumping on the Shy Guy in order to get the Talent Star. And for those who haven't watched one of the races I've commentated before, Mips, the name of that rabbit he is named after the processor that is on the Nintendo 64. A little bit of trivia for those who haven't heard me blather on about it before. And here MrMeanMoustache taking a death, unfortunately illustrating exactly what I meant with stay on the sandpit for more than one frame and you die. And Drozdowsky going on to Lethal Leveland, one of the MrMeanMoustache failing that trick once again. It seems like he is going to go for the casual route and stand on the pillars again instead. Oh no, he instead replaces the star with the star on top of the pyramid as a backup, and he will probably be attempting it again. He unfortunately misses the bomb clip once more, and instead does a creative route for getting the talent star. Drozdowsky coming in for a quick lava boost of the cascade, using a setup that's pretty interesting, a setup that does not require to onto that tiny piece of rock at the bottom of the cascade. And MrMeanMoustache managing to get that pillarless star. I see a comment. Oof. Drozdowsky missing that pole and falling onto the lava, being spit out of the painting. He's going to have to redo that star. I see on the chat talk about a certain runner hating SSL, shifting sandland, so much. Yes, that is a very hated stage just across the board. I don't think there's a single runner that does not have a personal gripe with SSL. It's just an uncomfortable stage to go about, because the sand just stops you from jumping, and jumping is basically your main method of movement. MrMeanMoustache getting that lava boost off of the cascade as well. And here we see MrMeanMoustache basically going right after Drozdowsky, doing the stars that he's just done. That star that Drozdowsky reached right now has a very unfortunate glitch that can happen when you're going to it. Mario can actually get stuck under those platforms and die to the lava, unable to get on top of those platforms right as you are reaching the star. It's very annoying. It has happened in this tournament before. And Drozdowsky going into HMC. Now, HMC has this interesting feature of not having any ceilings. Literally does not have ceilings through the entire stage. The only thing that's preventing you from room to the other is the walls. So what do speedrunners do? They jump over the walls. One of the usual setups for jumping over the walls is the one that Drozdowsky just showcased. It's called a box jump. Basically, triple jumping from that coin box and just jumping over the wall. There is another route to jump over walls that we will probably see showcased in here. It is known as Christmas Miracle, and it involves doing a regular triple jump and then a wall jump on an elevator room. You will recognize it as soon as we get there. Yeah, as you can see, he just got it. That is exactly the jump I was talking about. And I see a small question in the chat that is, it does not matter which one is in the lead. We tend to keep the sound focused on one runner through the entire race. It puts less stress on our restreamers that way. And to be honest, with all of these tournaments, in some of them you really can't tell which one is in the lead because of the massive routing differences. So we just keep it on the one streamer all the way through. Drozdowsky getting his 34th star. That is, if I'm not mistaken, the last star he is going to do in HMC. Gets the Toad star and moves on. MrMeanMoustache, instead of ending HMC with 34 stars, is going to end them with 35. And this room that Drozdowsky is in has a little bit of a MrMeanMoustache going for the Christmas miracle. And that room that Drozdowsky just passed, the entrance to the basement, is very important in another category, /1-star category. Those stairs that exist right there, you can do a BLJ off of the banister, and with the intention of clipping through the star door. If the gods smile upon you, you may also clip straight through DDD and get to skip DDD as well, leading you to Bowser in the Dark World. If you manage to skip through DDD, it's called a 0-star. If you don't manage to skip through DDD, you have to do the Bowser sub-star, and it's called a 1-star run. And as Drozdowsky does DDD, we can explain what's going on with his camera. Now, there are two elements that affect performance of the N64 a lot in this stage. The first one is that whirlpool that Drozdowsky was getting the chests around. The second one is the Bowser sub that he is going to be right on top of right now. So the thing is, these are very complex things, and the N64 struggles a lot in order to render them. So they tend to keep their cameras as tight on Mario as possible in order to avoid as much lag as possible. We see Drozdowsky doing a front sub strat, getting it on his second try. It's a very annoying strat that requires you jumping at a very precise time. Yeah. And he's getting the Manta Ray star as well. Those hitboxes on the rings are actually very, very annoying. Sometimes you can go straight through the ring and not manage to get the hitbox to recognize that you went through and have to redo all 5 of the rings again. Droz having a little trouble with the swimming mechanics. Here we can see MrMeanMoustache on Mario Cam, keeping the camera tight on Mario in order to avoid rendering the whirlpool for as long as you can, as we explained before. And Droz continuing on to Bowser in the Fire Sea. As we mentioned, this stage is also on a very tight timer. Let's see if Drozdowsky manages to get on the elevator before it starts coming back down. Misses his lava boost strat right there. We'll have to keep at least a bit of an eye on his health. And does not manage to make the cycle for the... So he will move on. He will get it on the next cycle. Couple wall jumps to get up. And does a non-lava boost strat to get through this area. You will probably he ends up ground pounding onto lava. That's going to a few seconds. And with how close MrMeanMoustache is at this point in the race, that is a bit more of an upset. MrMeanMoustache having a little trouble. None of them triggering for him. And Drozdowsky managing to get his first Bowser throw. This Bowser in the Fire Sea Bowser throw is the most complicated of the entire run. Not necessarily because of nerves, but because this Bowser spins faster than the other two. And as you can see, they are only one stage apart from each other. If Drozdowsky, oof, that name. I'm sorry guys. If Drozdowsky takes another death in one of the later stages, especially in one of the longest stars, MrMeanMoustache could very well catch up to him. And Droz going into Wet Dry World and doing its 100 coin star. This 100 coin star is one of 3 or 4 the runners do in this category. Mostly because 100 coin stars are very long, because they require getting 100 coins. But this one, the Cool Mountain one, and the Whomp's Fortress one are short enough that they are able to get them fast enough for them to make sense to be routed in. Some runners also decide to do TikTok Clock 100, do it in about a minute 5, a minute 10. Drozdowsky getting rid of this Chakia as Mr. goes in for Bowser. Let's see how he does on this throw. And MrMeanMoustache gets the throw first try as well. I see a question in the chat asking for their ranks. Drozdowsky at least is not on the speedrun.com leaderboard. However, I can tell you that MrMeanMoustache has a PB of 5339 and Drozdowsky has a PB of 4950x. Droz doing some very much swag movement in order to get into the elevator, however, does accidentally bonk on the wall and does not quite get the right movement in order to get there as fast as he could have. And here we see that Drozdowsky has gone into the painting at half height instead of going at the bottom, and that causes the water level to be halfway up. For those who don't know, that's how the water level changes in Wet Dry World. Depending on the level that you enter the painting at, the water will be higher or lower. So a lot of runners, when doing this particular star, choose to enter at half height in order to get a jump off of the surskit right there and as you can see Drozdowsky doing again, get up there much faster. He seems, however, that he didn't actually mean to enter the painting so high, as he needs it to be lowered to the lowest in order to take advantage of this teleporter right there. And that is the last star that Drozdowsky is going to be doing with dry. And now he is doing the secret star. This is most runners' choice for the first star in THI, mostly because it's a star with very precise movement, and it's just best if you just get it out of the way early on. He does not clip through the mountain in order to get up, but does not seem to have any more problems. And MrMeanMoustache missing the platform right there. There we go. Drozdowsky going up the mountain again, clipping through the mountain in order to cut on his time, and manages to get the star. Alright, thanks chat for telling me when I cut off. Let's see if MrMeanMoustache manages to get the wall kick cycle right. And he does. Alright, Drozdowsky getting the Piranha Plant star. It's very, very satisfying to watch. It's definitely one of the scarier stars to do casually, because it just looks... but these guys make it look easy. It's amazing to watch these runners do this kind of thing. And I might as well take the moment right now and tell you to remember to go follow these runners. These runners are giving a ton of their time in order to get better at this. They are giving you this amazing spectacle for free, and they win nothing. in this tournament, you just get bragging rights. So go ahead, give them a follow. The links to their Twitch chats are on the chat right now. The links to their Twitch channels, I mean, are on the chat right now, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, on that ledge grab, on that dangerous ledge grab that MrMeanMoustache did right now, if he had ledge grab a little further to the right, where that coin is, there is a warp that not many people know about. It warps you right back to where the piranha plants are. You are caught in that warp only if you use A in order to get up the ledge faster. If you flick your stick slowly in order for Mario to go up the ledge slowly, you do manage to not get caught in the warp. So that's something that a lot of runners even don't know and end up getting caught in a cycle of having to attempt the jump again. Now, a little word about the stage that Drozdowsky is in right now, Tall Tall Mountain. It is not only very that amazing movement that Drozdowsky. It is not only very complicated to do movement in because of its complicated geometry, but also this geometry also means that there are several invisible walls peppered around the stage. Invisible walls are just as they sound, just misprogrammed walls that extend past where they should be, and that stop Mario halfway through his jump, or and they can end up throwing you into a pit, they can end up killing you, they can end up doing all sort of nasty things. Both this stage and TikTok Clock are the ones with most invisible walls in the game, and you do not appreciate bonking against one of them when there's obviously just space there. Oof, Drozdowsky narrowly missing Breeze right there. He is instead using the Breeze strat a back. That Breezeless is, as you saw, wall kicking off the wall and then ground pounding. Some people may not know that ground pounding actually gets you some extra height when you do so. It goes about a unit up before actually moving down. So some runners use it to get up, to get that little bit of height they need in order to get on, in order to clip through the floor of a platform onto it. You can see this, oof, Drozdowsky getting narrowly missing that star right there. He's going to have to redo that movement from the bottom. That is definitely a setback. Instead doing the chill with the bully star as a backup. Also a very aesthetically pleasing star to watch a runner do. I have several people on record commenting that they love the sound that the bully makes when he gets hacked. And Drozdowsky this time taking it a bit safer and managing to get the snowman's big head star. MrMeanMoustache attempting that breezeless strat again. You saw him getting on top of the platform after the ground pound. However, it was a little too far away from the platform, so he ended up staying outside of the fence. Unfortunate, but he makes it work with a breeze. Alright guys, yeah, I say oof. Are you guys going to bully me for it? There's already at least 3 enemies in the game that do that for you. MrMeanMoustache doing another strat that many casual players don't know about. There is a patch of water rendered just behind that wall, so you can clip through the wall and end up in that water. If you swim in the correct way, you get warped up to the patch of water that is at the top of the mountain. And unfortunately, he ended up falling off of the platform, so he's going to do a Lonely Mushrooms as a backup. I should have known better than to trust Twitch chat. MrMeanMoustache going for this lock kick strat and missing it, unfortunately, twice in a row. That is not very good. That lock kick strat stressed out when I see people going for it, especially in world record or PB attempts. He opts for the safer strat of just running off of the log. And Drozdowsky going up to Tippy, so called for being the tippy top of the castle. Both of the stages here are very massive problems that will kill you if you miss your movement, so let's hope that they do well enough to not fail that. Drozdowsky going for the Lucky to Bounce strat here. Sadly, he does not manage to jump before he slides off, so he's going to do the red coin stars backup. That Lakitu jump involves luring the Lakitu down to the bottom of of that ramp and jumping off of it, then doing 2 or 3, depending on runner's preference, jump kicks, and then basically grabbing onto the pole. That pole is also a contentious point in that strat, because if you manage to get it to grab it at its bottommost part, Mario can get stuck in a cycle of trying to grab onto it and falling off and trying to grab onto it again. Ugh, Drozdowsky missing that strat again. He is going to either the tricky triangle star or the swing star. It looks like he's choosing the tricky triangle. MrMeanMoustache failing to get deep freeze. He's going to try again. Now MrMeanMoustache is taking advantage of one of the 2 available method. Oof. Drozdowsky, as we mentioned, taking a death. These tippy stages open into a chasm. It's not great to fall off. So guys, press F to pay respects. And this is exactly what we mentioned earlier in terms of a death here can allow Mr. Mean. Failing his movement again and slipping between the platform. That is a massive factor in terms of tilt as well. He is going to fail a little more in his concentration right now, because that is something that you recover from easily. He misses Lucky to bounce again. We will have to. Manages to not fall into the sky. However, he'll have to try that bit of movement again. Decides to play it safe and wait for the swing. And does this pretty generalized triple jump on the flamethrower strat and manages to. Now he will probably be attempting Lucky to bounce. Let's see if he manages to get it on this attempt. MrMeanMoustache joining him on Tippy. They are now 3 stars apart. Anything could happen at this point. And here we see the tilt that we mentioned affecting draws. He is probably kicking himself over missing this kind of movement. But it's the nerves. It's the nerves, and it's the same trick so many times in a row. And he does manage it, and manages to grab onto the pole with only. Commendable. And he finally gets his cruiser star. And that is the last star that he's going to do in Rainbow Ride. He is, as we mentioned, he did CCM17 and SSL Secrets, so now he will be but did not do Toxic Maze or THI Reds. So he is going to get all 7 stars in TikTok Clock, including the 100 coin star. TTC, as we mentioned, has those very annoying. One of the most infamous ones is next to the staircase. That is right next to where Mario spawns. However, most runners really actually like this stage because it has really impressive movement that feels really good when you manage to get it right. And it's certainly a joy to watch as well. If you manage to not bonk and manage to chain all of the triple jumps and wall kicks correctly. It's amazing to watch, and it really, really showcases what kind of level these players are playing. Droz having a little mishap there, but managing to get all of the coins, so he will not have to go for any of the backup boxes. Bonking on the platform, so he has to triple jump up to here, gets this 10 coin box, and will finally go up to this box in order to get his 100 coin star and get on top of the thump. And MrMeanMoustache just 1 star away from joining Drozdowsky in TikTok Clock. Droz doing a beautiful bit of movement, using the moving platform of the red coins in order to get up. It seems like he's recovering his cool now and managing to get his movement right. Let's see if he manages to keep this throughout the rest of TikTok Clock. Invisible walls, not that many. I don't think there's been any massive mishaps with invisible walls. However, there has been with actual visible walls. He gets his rolling to the cage start, no problem. And here we see MrMeanMoustache waiting for the hand to be right past the 6 so that the platforms will be moving in the way that he is used to. MrMeanMoustache not managing to get his initial movement and doing a different route as a back. Well, guys, I mean, now that you've tipped me off on when I say oof, I'm just not going to keep saying it that often. Now, it's very important to say that this strategy that runners are doing, going into the stage without the hand being at 12, meaning that all of the parts are going to be moving, entails very, very, not necessarily complicated routing, but it needs to be much, much tighter, and their movement needs to be a lot tighter in order for the platforms to be where they expect them to be. Drozdowsky stopping time in order to get the red coins, accidentally bonking again. MrMeanMoustache having just a little trouble with the wall kick. And Drozdowsky gets his 70th star and is going to go up to Bowser in the Sky, the last stage of the game. At this point, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, this is his race to win, definitely. MrMeanMoustache, unfortunately, bonking and taking a death. That's going to widen his difference with Droz, and that's going to make it a lot harder to catch up, even if Droz does not manage to clutch bits. Ugh. To clutch bits. I can English, I swear. Drozdowsky doing that swag walk, managing to get him up stage much faster than other routing. And finally managing to get up to Bowser in the Fire Sea, in the... Oh my god, I've been calling Bowser stages as each other. It's too many times this race. Bowser in the sky, getting the first throw perfectly, and the second throw narrowly, very narrowly missing it. Manages to get the second throw in his second try. And unfortunately misses the third. And there it is, the third throw. And as soon as he gets his star, he seems to wait for a little. And Drozdowsky finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 55 minutes and 44 seconds. Everyone get your GGs in the chat. Let's give this guy a round of applause for finishing in a time that is barely 6 minutes away from his PB. That's very, very impressive for this kind of race setting. And we will see if we can manage to get him in for an interview. And it seems Drozdowsky is already waiting for the interview in the waiting room, so let's get him in here and say. In the meantime, MrMeanMoustache getting the last... Should not be very long before he finishes as well. And once again, let me take these moments to remind you. And they stream very, very often to showcase that time and effort. So go ahead, give them a follow. You will benefit from that. You'll get endless entertainment, and they will be very appreciative. So the runners' Twitch links are on the chat. Go ahead. We all know you want to. And we see MrMeanMoustache going up Bowser in the sky. Almost, very narrowly missing, almost missing that platform. Managing to ledge grab and recover. And he goes off into the Bowser fight. accidentally fails one of the throws. Manages to get the next one. Manages to get his second throw as well. And narrowly misses his third throw. And finally manages to heck Bowser 1/3 time. Let's watch him get his start and finish this run. And he finishes in second place with an official. Get your GGs in the chat, guys. He deserves them as well. And so this race finishes. This is putting MrMeanMoustache at 1-1 and Drozdowsky at 1-0. So none of them are out of the tournament yet. MrMeanMoustache still has one race to do, and if he manages to get it, to clutch it and win, he will move on to the next stage. Drozdowsky also needs to get at least one more win in order to move on from the group stage. And let's see if we can get either of these two runners in the chat in the room for an interview. And here we have MrMeanMoustache. GG, how are you feeling?
Terrible. No, it was okay. I'm rusty, I accept it.
I mean, that's fair. You say you're rusty. Have you not been playing 70 star very often?
No, Mario Odyssey was distracting me.
I see. That's a very, very valid distraction.
Yeah. So yeah, but it happened. Whatever. I finished at least. That's something that makes me happy already.
Definitely. So after your race, you are now 1-1, which means you're very much not.
What's up?
Hey, Drozdowsky, GG to you as well.
Thanks, man.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling after this win?
You know, I died a lot, so not so good, but you know.
I can take you the hand on the dying a lot. Nah.
That's very fair. Rainbow Ride did not treat you very fairly right there.
No. And dying on the TTC 100s is also not really helpful. That was also painful.
Yeah. We all love and hate TP in equal measure.
Yeah.
Black 2 pounds. It's not my friend.
All right. So what would you guys say was your high points of
my high points?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I got a sub 13 on the slide. No, it was not I cannot really say as well. Like, I had a lot of deaths in a lot of stages. I don't know. If I really have to choose, I think my HMC was good. That was the only stage that was really good.
Yeah, that's always good. HMC is not that easy of a stage, so yeah. All right, so that being said, both of you are still very much in the tournament. If MrMeanMoustache manages to get a win in his match against Soaring Wombat, there is a possibility that he will also move on. And Drozdowsky, you are currently at 1-0, so you're definitely still in.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling regarding the matches that you have coming up?
I don't know. Soaring Wombat is someone of the little bit of the same skill level as me, I believe. I don't know what his PP entirely is, but I knew when I just got sub 1, he got it like a week later as well. So I think that would be a pretty close race as well. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from that. I don't know how much Wombat is playing lately.
All right. Well, good luck to both of you in that case.
Thank you.
Thanks
for watching, everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Good race.
GG. Okay, talk to you guys later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. So, with this race coming to an end, let me remind you once again, follow these. They're doing an amazing job here in front of a much larger audience than they're used to, so they deserve some massive props for that. If you missed any of our races, Speed Gaming has a YouTube channel. If you look for Sorry, I can English sometimes. If you look for Speed Gaming on YouTube, you will be able to watch all of the races from all of the tournaments that Speed Gaming is doing. They are uploaded about 1 or 2 days after the race actually happens. So if you missed anything, that's where you want to go. Up next on all of our Speed Gaming channels. Right now on Speed Gaming 2, there is a Super Mario Odyssey 80% happening between Zinpars and Scooter MK. At 6 on Speed Gaming, there is going to be the Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo tournament between Hercules Branch Press and Kzaron. On Speed Gaming 3 at 6 p.m., there is going to be the Super Mario Odyssey 80% tournament between Monado Purge and Pinkish. Then at 6:30 on Speed Gaming 2, the Zelda 2 100% All Keys tournament between Error72 VLAC SR. And on Speed Gaming 4 at 8:30, the Mega Man 1 All Stages match between Casio Third and Fuzz Distor. Thank you to the runners for giving us this amazing race. Thank you to our restreamer Fiesel, who does a tireless job to keep us entertained. And thanks to you guys, to the audience, for coming in, for interacting in the chat, for making fun of my oofs. Even though I did not mean to say those. And I guess I'll sign off. My name has been Ashay Arya, and until next time, good luck, have fun.